July is Dry Eye Awareness Month. I'm sure you weren't aware, but you are now. And this morning, we are joined by a resident ophthalmologist in the Trinidad Eye Hospital, Dr. Vikash Bidesi, to tell us more about the dry eye disease as it's more common than you think. Dr. Bidesi, good morning and welcome to the Now.
Hi, morning everybody. Morning everybody. So yeah, as we said today, well, this month is dry eye month, and I'm sure that at least one in every two patients, so every two people, has experienced some symptoms of dry eyes.
Well,
Dry
we
eyes is
might have a
basically
hand up in studio or two, but what is
mine
dry
too.
eye? What is dry eye disease as it's labeled?
So dry eye disease basically is well, the eye itself on the frontmost layer, there's a layer of a lubrication layer called the tear film layer. And what happens is sometimes this layer it can become sorry this layer it can become abnormal, and that can lead to dry eyes. So it's like a lubrication from a car. If it's not there, it causes problems, and
Right.
that could lead to detrimental factors. Yeah.
What gets us to that point altogether? Dehydration, fatigue. How do we
Yeah.
distinguish dry eye from just being tired, for example?
So there are several factors, and in Trinidad, we are so lucky to have all these factors combined one together. First of all, environmental. As everybody know, when they get up and they look outside, they see the place foggy. It's actually Sahara dust, right? So that's one of the biggest factors we have right now.
Right.
Pollution, Sahara dust, and just general, the atmospheric conditions in Trinidad. What it does is it aggravates the eyes and it disrupts that tail layer. It causes it to become not lubricated, and that leads to the symptoms of dry eyes. And symptoms of dry eyes, they go very variable. Some simply as itching in the eye, you tend to want to rub the eye. The eye can become red. Vision can become a little bit blurry. The eye can become, very, very tired. So sometimes you're thinking, oh, I was just tired. I had a hard day at work. But really and truly, it's underlying dry eye that's been going on.
Okay. So, in terms of the frequency, you've said that we have the ideal conditions. It means it's really commonplace here in Trinidad and Tobago. What do we
Very, very common.
do? Oh boy, great. What are some of the things that contribute or enhance, make that even worse then, so that we could try to stay away from the ones that we can control?
Yeah, definitely. There are some things that we can do. So one of the biggest factors as well we can avoid is the use of screens or screen time. And I know that that's easier said than done.
Right?
But yeah, so what happens really is that when you stare at a screen, you kind of focused and you don't consciously blink your eyes. Now, blinking the eyes, it replenishes that tail layer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not blinking the eyes and replenishing that tail layer frequently, it tends to get dried out. So that's one thing, screen use. The other thing is the use of the AC, the cooling systems, and also the use of fans in your rooms and in your office workspace. That tends to dry out the eyes as well too.
Oh, snap.
So yeah, those are the two main factors, and also sun. Exposure to sun. So if you're outside in the heat, or you go to the beach and these things. Also, things like contacts wearing can also dry out your eyes.
Okay, so those are some that we can definitely avoid. Are there any sort of symptoms or contributors that we perhaps can't avoid? They're inevitable or even inherited.
Yeah, no, well, in fact, dry eyes is not is I mean, rarely you can get it in a hereditary condition. So some diseases that can lead you to more dry eyes is things like diabetes or high sugar can also cause dry body in general and dry eyes. Or if you have any other dermatological conditions, that leads to dry skin can also lead to dry eyes. So that's unavoidable, and that you should seek medical advice for.
Okay, speaking of medical advice, then, this is something we can be diagnosed for, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So, I mean, the majority of cases that dry eye could be treated conservatively, meaning at home. There's the over-the-counter lubricating eye drops, that could be used as necessary to re-lubricate the eyes. You can think about it like when you get a dry skin, you use your Jergens or your whatever products you use. You can also use eye lubricating products.
Right.
Also, avoidance of like excessive screen time. You could consciously take your breaks when you're using your screens. consciously blink your eyes as well too. That works as well. But if these things are not properly managed with your home remedies, you definitely need to you come and seek advice. So that what we do sometimes in severe cases of dry eyes, which is the majority of what we see when patients decide to come to clinic, we actually have more proper up-to-date testing that we can use. We have a machine. It's called the C-Diag machine. So what we do with that is we put you on a machine. It takes some pictures of the front of the eye and the tail layer. It analyzes it and it tells us in a more scientific way what is underlyingly causing your dry eyes and how to particularly treat it in every case.
Well, it's relieving to know that, of course, there are things that we can do. Some of them are simple as blinking more often. But in terms of the medical diagnosis, if it should get to that severe point, there is also prescription medication then that we'll be on, or we're looking at the straight over-the-counter remedies?
Yes, no, that's correct. So yeah, so we kind of take it stepwise again. We use the simple over-the-counter medication, home remedies, and if it gets to that point where these things are not working, there are prescription medication that we can prescribe to help more target the dry eye disease, and that's why we like to test it first, and then after determine whether we need any prescription medication. Some of the prescription medication simply is just to increase the amount of tears that's being produced in the eye naturally. And the other one we commonly use is to stop the inflammation, because we see in patients with dry eyes there's chronic inflammation. So if you can break the cycle of chronic inflammation with anti-inflammatory prescription drops, we can break the cycle of dry eyes.
Sounds fantastic. I'm really relieved that it, as common as it is very much treatable and sounds curable too. So in terms of recap or best practices then, what would you say we should employ to move forward with healthy sight?
Yeah, so healthy sight in particular for dry eyes, I would say definitely screen time is one of your biggest enemy. So definitely take conscious effort in your screen time. Meaning, there's a simple rule called the 20-20-20 rule. I'm sure we've all heard about it or came across it at some point. What this basically means is for every 20 minutes of screen time, you take a 20-second break and look at something about 20 meters or further in the distance. What this does is it relaxes the eyes and it causes less strain of the eyes. Also, you consciously blink the eyes when you're using your screens. So, you blink as often as you can. That replenishes the tail layer. You also, if you need prescription glasses or if you're struggling to see the screen, definitely test for glasses and get some if that's required. Also, the frequent use of lubricating eye drops. There's a lot on the market these days. I'm sure you go in a pharmacy, you see a whole aisle of them. You can get it almost anyone and try them as necessary in the eyes. And that is the best advice there for preventing dry eyes.
Well, granted that the entire month we can observe dry eye awareness, if you will, what else can we look forward to from your institution and others towards helping us have better sight?
Yeah, well, yeah, every month, we try to bring awareness to different eye diseases. So I think we will have something like Cataract Awareness Month, Diabetic Awareness Month, Macular Degeneration Month. So those are things to look forward to, because it can affect each and every one of us at some point in life.
Oh boy. Well, you've given us things to look forward to. See what I did there? And so we appreciate you for joining us this morning. Any final messages that you want to leave with us in terms of taking care of our eyes this morning, Doc?
Yeah, so again, just to finalize, yeah. So yeah, definitely your eyes is one of your most important sense, if not the most important sense. So taking care of it is very, very important. And we are here to help you. We at the Trinidad Eye Hospital, any concerns you have, you can always reach out to us. So anybody, any eye professional, basically. But if you're having this symptom of dry eyes is going on too long, don't rub the eyes. That's the final message there. Don't rub your eyes. That causes things to get from 0 to 100 very quickly, and that could lead to more problems. So seek medical advice if it's severe.
Dr. Badesi, thank you very much for making time to give us that information this morning, and we will do better to make sure that we have better sight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of your morning. Of course, Dr. Vikash Badesi, a resident of ophthalmology in the Trinidad Eye Hospital, giving us some insight on the commonality that we didn't didn't know existed, maybe. Dry eye disease. And as I say this, both my co-hosts are on their screens. So I want to encourage you
But
guys
I was blinking.
to blink.
I was blinking.
Oh, were you
I
really?
was blinking,
Okay.
actively blinking.
All right.
Especially every time he said blink, I blinked like 5 times just to make sure.
Right, because literally when the screen is not on me, I'm like, right, now wear my glasses, so let me just blink down the place. Ironically, though, one of the symptoms of dry eye, because I was trying to read up a little before, is also that you get teary-eyed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? Come on, guys, figure out what you want to do.
Well, that's because you're trying to create the water that it's needed.
And so your body's just like, come on, excessively. It may mean that a lot more people have it than they realize. So I'm hoping this morning that we educated you, enlightened you, and that you can do better this July as we promote dry eye awareness. Who knew?
And something to be aware of, and I had to learn this the hard way, is that not all eye drops are created equally. So if you're having any issues with eye drops, go see a specialist or go see an ophthalmologist, and they can guide you on which one you should be using for whatever version of dry eyes you
I'm
may
curious
have.
as to what was your experience.
I actually, my eye got really, really red and a little bit swollen. I was using, I'm not going to call the brand, but I was using one, and then the doctor's like, yeah, don't use that one.
Oh, wow.
Use this other one that costs like 5 times the price.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, prevention better than cure, always. So I hope you paid attention to that interview. You're checking your ophthalmologist or your regular specialist generally to make sure everything is optimally performing so that you don't need to get anything at all. Take a blink, guys. We'll be back in one. Wow. Here on the Now Morning Show. Oh, no.